absolutely thrilled. Today is the day I start sowing my tomatoes. I've already sown my hot peppers, my chili peppers, and my sweet peppers, and some aubergines, artichokes, and the brassicas, the early brassicas. But I usually wait until the end of February or beginning of March to sow my tomatoes. And today's the day, and I'm super excited because tomatoes, as you can see here, we grow a ton of varieties every year. And this year I have more than ever, but I've promised myself not too many plants of one type. So while I have a lot of varieties just here, I'm going to make do with these 24 modules and another 12, so 36 modules in all. I'm going to put 4 seeds in each because some of these are older and I don't know how well they'll germinate, because I want 2 plants of each type, and I have a couple of people I'm also growing for, and the rest I'll just give away on the allotment. So to start out with, I've already made my labels. Jane Kelly, this is for you. Make the labels ahead of time. And yeah, I'm just going to start by, I spread them around 4 holes, and then I'll just put all the seeds in, water them in, and then I hope to be able to prick them out by mid-March. So let me just get started. So these seeds are obviously not bought at the garden center. These are a couple. These are mainly bush varieties that are okay to grow in containers on balconies, because my father, for example, doesn't have a lot of space and he needs varieties that he can grow in smaller containers on a balcony. These are mostly indeterminate varieties, so these here, because we have lots of space on the allotment. Some under cover, some just out in the open. And we usually have dry summers, so it's not really an issue with blight. We usually manage to get all the plants up to about September before they start getting blight. Last year we made a mistake. We stuffed way too many of our plants underneath the cover. And then the ones that were planted toward the middle didn't get enough sun. Didn't get enough light, so they didn't end up ripening enough, and also they got blight first. So this year I've promised myself to spread out in the garden instead of just sticking everything in one space. If you've seen my garden tour video, you will know that I have lots of lawn still. In Germany it's allowed to have 1/3 lawn on the allotment, and in our case, when we took it over, that's what it had, and we are slowly beginning to enlarge our growing beds and take out some of the lawn. So in the end, if I don't have enough space for the tomatoes, I'll just make more space by either putting in new beds, no-dig beds, directly onto the lawn, or by using containers. And I can't get the 30-liter containers that Simplified Gardening, for example, uses. I have 20-liter containers. They're fine for tomatoes or for peppers, and I just use those. 1 plant per container. All right, so let me continue with this and I'll be back with you later. So this tray, they're all in, and I moistened the earth beforehand. So now I'm just going to water from the bottom, because we do have a problem with gnats here. So anything that we grow inside or that we start inside, we have gnats. There's not very much we can do against it. We try to catch them, but they keep getting into the soil, so I water from the bottom. And of course I cover them, so I'll do that in a minute. So now for the rest of them. This year there's very many new varieties that we're actually trying. I have a couple of seeds left from the varieties from last year. I didn't seed save because we had all the varieties mixed together and I was afraid of cross-pollination. I just figured I'd support this seed sharing venture here. The seeds aren't expensive. They're all heirlooms. Got an extra seed in there now. Okay. Yeah. So I just found one seed that I have no idea what it is, and since I have an extra module here, I'll just pop that in there and call it Secret Tomato. With the varieties we try to spread our risk as well. So we have some that ripen early, some that ripen late. We have some Italian varieties that need more sun, which usually works in our very, very hot and dry summers. But we also have some Russian varieties that can do with less sun and less heat, just because you never know. Last year, for example, our late spring was unusually cool and rainy. It's really not something we're used to. And so some varieties did better than others. And as I said, I try to spread the risk a bit by just starting different varieties. Also, that means we can harvest throughout the season and not harvest everything at once. And last year we actually harvested our tomatoes well into October, as far as I can remember. Those that didn't have blight, obviously. All right, so this one's finished as well. This tray is a bit too small, so I have to lift this up in order to water it. And in case you're wondering, this is celeriac that I sowed 10 days ago, and these are different kinds of fennel, bulb fennel, also sown 10 days ago, and they're starting to come up. I haven't been very lucky with fennel or celeriac in the past, so I sowed quite a bit of celeriac, hoping that some of them will make it. And for the fennel, I'll be doing several different sowings, so probably about a month apart. Yeah, so these go on the windowsill now, and above me, all along the window, I have extra lights that were here when we moved in. Now they're perfect. And I put these lids on until I have germination, also against the gnats in the beginning when I water it. And if you can see, I have these little strips here that can catch flies and, in this case, gnats. All right, so much for today. I'll get back to you in a couple of weeks to let you see how they've germinated.